I forgot to note one thing when I was talking about the MoBoards, maneuvering board and MoBoard, sorry, they're interchangeable terms, is how you actually measure on these, whether it's this or radar transfer plotting sheet. It will vary between Navy and Merchant Marine, or it will vary between the Navy and every single person I've ever met in the Merchant Marine and how they prefer to do it. Doesn't mean it's universal there. It's much more regulated in the Navy because they provide the materials. In the Merchant Marine, we use triangles just like we do with everything else. And for that reason, it doesn't feel very different. Actually, the only real difference here is it's easier because while you could find a vertical line like this one here, place your triangle over it and measure out the angle. And if, for instance, we were looking for 250, we could get it like so, and that is accurate. You don't need to do that because we've got this giant bearing circle all around us, this giant compass rose. So if we wanted to go for 250, you could just place the whole triangle, what did I say, 250? Right there, line it up so it's in position. And there you go, that's a bearing of 250. And then if you needed to move it, you could move it all around the MoBoard wherever you needed it to go. Likewise, for distances, you could take, I have my divider here because my compass is broken. Typically in radar, you will be using a compass, not dividers, so you can plot arcs, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it because I don't have any leads. You just measure distances either from the center or between one another, but then you're going to have to compare it to the center scale. And if you're using the 2-to-1, 3-to-1 scale, you bring it over to the side here. This is exactly the same. In the Navy, they don't use triangles at all. Whether if they were to still use paper charts or plotting sheets or whatever, they would not be messing with triangles. What they prefer is those Weems rollers, the parallel plotter. It's got a couple different names. Having gone to a maritime academy, I'm extremely skeptical of them. I don't trust them because that rolling motion, actually no, it's not worth it. You've probably seen them one place or another, or if you haven't, just look up a Weems parallel plotter on Google Images, and you can figure out how it works pretty quick. They can just place it down because it's got a parallel line just that triangles do, but it's got two wheels in back, so you can slide it back and forth. I feel like that's less accurate because it could easily slip and you wouldn't be able to feel it slip like you can feel with triangles. But every time I've used them, I like double, triple, quadruple check my bearing, and they always come out to be the same. So it works. It's fully accurate. It's just not something I'm necessarily comfortable with, even if I ultimately should be. And it's actually, for MoBoards, probably more convenient because they're usually a bit longer than a triangle. It's usually like that long. So you can lay it all the way across the entire plotting sheet, get that position, and then slide it back and forth wherever you want. Whereas if you had a triangle like this, you'd have to shift it up and down like such to get into position. So the triangles are technically less convenient for a plotting sheet, though I would never use the Weems roller on a paper chart. That would be sacrosanct. That's sacrilegious. I mean, that's not okay. I would not be comfortable doing that. I prefer the triangles, but be prepared to use either. And because I didn't bring the Weems roller with me, because I didn't want to steal it from work, we'll just be from here on out using the triangles to do this. However, if you're learning with a parallel plotter, it's not that hard to go between the two. It's not complicated to see how I'm doing it with this and transfer it over. It might be harder to go the other direction, to see a parallel plotter and reinterpret it in the context of a triangle, because the triangles take a little bit more effort to use. So yeah, just be prepared to work with it either way. It's not, even if it does screw you up once or twice, in the end, you can use both tools. They're equally accurate.